Hi again. In this video, I'll give a quick overview of the Week 1 forum and the Week 1 writing assignment. Those are the two modules that make up the assignments due on May 27th and the second assignment due on June 1st. So let's see what's up in this first module. You'll begin by watching this video you're now watching, the Week 1 overview. So when we're finished with the video, you'll have that task completed. The next thing will be to register the access code for Norton's Inquisitive for Writers. This code will give you access to the Inquisitive exercises, to the They Say I Say chapter tutorials, and to the plagiarism tutorial. Together, those three sets of exercises comprise 15% of your final grade. They are essentially the coursework for the class. In addition to that, you'll read the introduction to They Say I Say, entering the conversation, and chapter 13. Don't make them scroll up. This is about entering online conversation. So you want to read that before you make your first forum post. And that first forum post is tell us about you. So let's take a look at how this module plays out. So after the video, you will register your Norton access code. You'll be asked for a course ID number, and that number is 439741. So write that down and have it handy when you register your code, and then because that will give me access to the work that you've done. I'll be able to see what you've done and give you credit for it. So when you open that link, you'll land on this page where you sign in, register a code, or purchase access. You'll see here the links to Inquisitive for Writers, the tutorials on the same bar over here is the plagiarism one. When you first sign in, you'll need to register, purchase, or sign in for trial access. You'll be asked your name, provide your RCC email. That'll be easier for us to track down any issues with Norton if you use your RCC email address. You'll create a password, and then you have the option to register a code. Now, this is a cardboard card that comes with the bundle. If you bought the books through the bookstore, the hard copies of the books, it was included in the bundle you purchased from the bookstore. If you bought the books online or using someone else's books, you'll need to purchase your own access code. It's not very expensive. I think it's about $20, so you can use this option. You can buy that from the bookstore, or you can buy it directly from Norton. With the access code comes e-book versions of both texts, so you can actually purchase the text, or at least digital versions of the text, by purchasing the access code. If you've got the books and you need a few days before you can purchase the access code, you can sign up for a 21-day trial access. And so that gives you 3 weeks to work on it. You register the code, you work on it as if you're in the course. Once you get the access code, you can transfer the work you've been working on onto that access code. The next task due this week then is the Week 1 forum. Tell us about you. In this forum, you'll introduce yourself, and what I'm asking you to do primarily here is to introduce yourself in terms of 3 different aspects of your identity. You may think of these as 3 different identities that combine to make you the person you are. That's sort of the idea. So you can choose things like your background, special interests, hobbies, values, goals for the future, significant experiences. But look for opportunities to develop or explain them with detailed examples. So, for instance, you may say you're a gardener. So you could develop that by explaining that your interest in gardening came from, the summer you spent with your grandmother, something like that. I've included a sample here, and the key thing about my sample is not so much the fascinating life I've lived, but the 3 identities I've chosen and the nouns that I've used to represent them. Like many proud sons of the Old Dominion, I think of myself as a Virginian, an English teacher, husband. So these are 3 different identities that I've identified here. So use nouns to identify those identities. Adjectives don't work very well. So if it's something like, you're a caring person, well, call yourself a caregiver. So that is a case where the noun, it becomes the identity. Now we'll take a look at, and of course you want to look for any chance to include the details. So if I mention that my wife and I have 3 dachshunds, of course I want to go ahead and name them Louie, Junie, Bee, and Maisie. Now let's take a look at the second task for the week in the next module, the identity paragraph assignment. So by Tuesday, June 1st, you'll complete the other assignment for this week, the identity paragraph. In the meantime, you'll read chapter 1 of They Say, I Say, starting with what others are saying, and you'll complete the first inquisitive exercise, how to use inquisitive. This basically orients you to using this kind of game-based tutorials. And I think one of the things you'll appreciate is that every exercise gives you the opportunity to earn the score of 100. You work on it until you master it, and you can get the score to where you want. So that's one of the motivations for working on inquisitive. In addition, after you've read chapter 1 in They Say, I Say, complete the They Say, I Say tutorial, chapter 1 tutorial for it. This reinforce those concepts. And of course, these tutorials do a lot of the work we would normally do in a face-to-face class. That's why they're important for you to complete them. Then watch the video in which I explain the identity paragraph assignment. And of course, write and submit the identity paragraph. So here's the video in which I explain it, and in that video I also go over the assignment itself and a sample outline and paragraph that at least gives you a sense of the scope, dimensions, the general organizational structure of the paragraph. And here then is the link to submit it using Turnitin. So if you have any questions about the assignment, if you want me to weigh in on the 3 categories you've chosen, or even look at something you've written before you submit it, please email me. If you'd prefer to contact me and talk it over via Zoom, we can arrange that as well. So have a great week. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do in both of this week's writing assignments.